Alright, so I know a lot of you guys have been wanting me to review this bike for a very long time. You've been requesting this bike non-stop, and now it's finally here, the CFMOTO CLX Sport. So this will be a very quick video on the CLX Sport, and if you want a more in-depth video, watch my full review of the CLX Heritage up here. And yes, I know a lot of you guys are torn between the Heritage and the Sport. Keep watching this video and watch till the end to see which bike I would choose, the Heritage or this. For starters, I'd say this is almost the exact same bike as the CLX Heritage, but with a bunch more meaningful upgrades. And as you can see, I have here with me the black and gray combination. It also comes in white, but I like this color because it matches my helmet and aesthetic. But the white variant also looks nice in person, especially at night. First, let's talk about all the visual changes on this bike compared to the Heritage. Right off the bat, you'd see there's carbon fiber panels. Although they are not real, they are tastefully done. They look nice and subtle, and it matches the whole aesthetic of the bike. So this is unique to the Sports because of its clip-on nature. There's also carbon fiber here on the gas tank. There's more here on the rear fender, and another one here near the radiator. And if you haven't noticed already, there's also a touch of bluish green color accents for the bike that gives it this neo-retro look. There's one here in the front mudguard. There's also one here at the headlights. It's very subtle. Most of you probably won't notice it, but it's there, and it ties up the whole aesthetic of the bike really well. And there's more of that color in the functional vent here. And sadly, they replaced the aluminum tank cover with this plastic one. Although it looks good in the Sports, I still kind of prefer the brushed satin metal finish of the CLX Heritage. And moving on to the rear, you can also find the bluish green accents here. There's a nice touch of the CLX branding stamp in here. The leather is different from the Heritage, and as far as I know, you cannot take out this rear cowl and replace it with a seat. Because of its cafe racer nature, you can't really have a pillion here or a back ride. I mean, you can, but I'm not sure how long will the pillion ride. Plus, if you're getting this bike, I'm pretty sure you want to look cool and you wouldn't want a back ride with you. But maybe for future updates, CFMOTO will add that feature. But I guess for now, it's safe to say that this is a one-person bike. And if you can't tell already, the vakes here are fake. For some reason, CFMOTO couldn't make this vent functional like the ones here in front. I think it took some cues from the 300 SR, but that one had holes through them so the air could pass through. So it looked better and it functioned better. But anyway, this is my favorite part in the CLX Sport, regardless of its function, especially when viewed from the rear. It's uniquely CLX Sport. Moving here to the bottom, everything looks almost exactly the same. It still has all of that premium parts that I like with the Heritage. Everything looks well built. It looks premium and it feels premium, and this is why the CLX Heritage was one of my favorite bikes of this year. This bike in particular just overtook that one. To the rear, we still have a rear mudguard. It's still attached to a single swing arm on the right side. But what's different is we have a new set of wheels and tires. What we have here with us is a Suprema XXST, and it's paired with a 5-spoke alloy mags. Compare that to the Heritage dual sport tires and multi-spoke wheels. And I feel like this is even a more well-packaged bike than that of the CLX Heritage. I've said it before and I'll say it again, you can't really beat CFMOTO's price point. I mean, for 399,000 pesos, you're getting a lot of bike for that price. You're getting a 700cc engine, you're getting Brembo dual disc brakes, and of course a bike that doesn't look like any other bike in the market. Moving on to the other side, we still have the exact same muffler from the Heritage. Everything's neatly done, everything's blacked out. The foot pegs are really nice and are of good quality. They're very thick and wide, almost adventure-like, so it's very comfortable whenever you're riding it. Up front, we have this all-new grille that has the X on it. This is uniquely CLX Sport with a honeycomb pattern. And of course, last but not the least, the dual Brembo disc brakes. I feel like this is the biggest upgrade in terms of performance. And yes, it's the exact same engine, but I couldn't really tell much of a difference. It has a little bit more torque, hence the muffler sounds a little bit different. I feel like it lost some of the bassy sound in the low ends, but in turn gained more torque in the low end as well. The difference between the Heritage and the Sport is day and night when it comes to braking power. I feel like with a 700cc engine in a very lightweight bike, a good brake set like Brembo's gives you way more confidence. So the braking power is now sufficient, if not more than enough for the performance of the bike. You'll have more confidence revving the engine because you know and you're confident that the brakes will stop the bike at any given time. So I definitely enjoyed this bike way more than the Heritage because of the Brembo's alone. But of course, all this doesn't matter if it doesn't live up to its hype. As we all know, this is a cafe racer bike, so we now have this clip-ons. The gauge cluster is still the same, and of course we have the Brembo master cylinder, Brembo brake levers, passing switch here, the cruise control buttons here. So yeah, at this price point, this bike gives you cruise control. We also have the eco and sports mode, still has those not so tactile buttons. So at times you're not really sure if you press and engage the button that you really like. Same goes with the hazard switch here. But like I said, those things are very minimal, and I think as the owner of this bike, you'll still eventually get used to it. We also have a ride-by-wire throttle here, and we also have this nice bar end mirrors, which I had troubles adjusting with. Although it looks nice, maybe even my favorite stock bar end side mirrors. But like any other motorcycles, I'm still gonna replace this, along with this really tiny horn. Rear and front shocks are also adjustable, just like in the Heritage. And they even changed the fork from gold to black in this particular model. But other than that, everything looks very cohesive in here. As for the riding posture, seat height is still at 800mm, same with the Heritage. So this bike is Pinoy friendly and 5'7", and I can confidently flat foot this bike, no problems. And hopping on it right now with the low seat height and a slightly raised clip-ons, it's not really that aggressive as you think. Compared to the Husqvarna Vitpillen, the Vitpillen was way more aggressive. It had a high seat height and a very low clip-ons. So comparing this to the Vitpillen and other sports bike, this is way more comfier. And personally, I think CFMOTO is known for making aggressive looking bikes like the 300SR that looks very aggressive, but when you sit on it, it doesn't feel like it. The only issue I have with this bike is whenever you're slow turning, your thumb will hit the plastic cladding. Especially if you're wearing thick gloves, it will be jammed between the handlebars and the fender. This only happens when you're doing a sharp turn on both sides. And I think it's because of this fender protruding out. But I'm pretty sure if you already own this bike, you wouldn't have that problem. All you have to do is lift your thumb. And obviously, it will be a second nature for the owners of this bike. I feel like this bike maneuvers way better than the Heritage. You can turn more, you can turn faster. Overall, it just has a better maneuverability than the Heritage. But anyway, that's pretty much it for my quick review on the CLX Sport. Out of the three, I think the CLX Sport is my favorite. It still has everything that I liked about the Heritage, plus more. So if you really like the Heritage, I'm pretty sure you'd love this even more. Same performance, but way better brakes. Looks aggressive, but still very comfortable. You can pretty much daily it every day. And although performance-wise, it feels almost the same, the Sport is a way better package with the brakes alone. Because it gives you that assurance that despite how fast you're going on this bike, the Brembo's paired with the ABS will always stop you on time. So yeah, the last question is the Sport versus the Heritage. And I think you guys know what the answer is. This bike. That's pretty much it. And if you want to learn more about the CLX, head out to my channel and check out the CLX Heritage video. See you guys in the next episode.